All right, and I think we're live. Pretty sure we're live. According to my software, it says we're live. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. Welcome to another TubeBuddy live stream. I want to thank the team over at TubeBuddy for allowing me to host today. And we're going to be talking about live streaming strategies for YouTube. I'm going to take some of you guys' questions over in the chat. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to kind of get into this slowly. I want to give people a chance to come into the live stream. If you have a chance and you're using Twitter or Facebook and you want to invite people to the stream, then definitely feel free to do that while we get going here. Also, if you're watching the replay of this, well, first of all, thank you. And secondly, I plan to make sure that there's a lot of great information besides just the Q&A session. So you're going to be able to stay tuned and get something out of this, even if you're watching the replay. So let's go ahead and jump in with a just quick intro for those of you who may not be familiar with me. My name is Roberto Blake. I have a YouTube channel that's based around creative careers. Anybody who wants to pursue their creativity, I have tutorials on different things, not just how to grow a YouTube channel, but also how to use camera equipment and how to use camera gear and what tech to buy, things like 360 cameras, or what the right camera lens is, or how to use programs like Photoshop so that you can market and advertise yourself with thumbnails that don't suck, that actually get clicks and views, or making a Twitter banner so that you can go ahead and get engagement there, slide into some people's DMs. Just different things like that, and how to use social media and how to grow as a creative person. Because if you're here and you want to do something on YouTube, the odds are that you are a creative person. You are a YouTube creator. You want to put something out into the world. You want people to be as excited about it as you are. But that means that there are a few things you need to know. You need to know technical stuff. You also need to know creative stuff. You might also need to know how to run your own business, because YouTube's not a day job. It's actually very entrepreneurial. So I have a channel where I have all of those things. It's not the type of channel that's going to get a ton of views on every single video, because maybe you only need to solve one problem. So that's what I do. That's a little bit of background on who I am and why I'm here to help you guys today. I've managed to grow my channel to over 200,000 subscribers. It did not happen overnight. It's been about 4 years of making weekly content. And I know making content can be hard. You have to learn how to edit. You have to learn how to shoot. So live streaming is something that a lot of you are finding very attractive, because, well, with live streaming, you can do cool stuff, but at the same time, you don't necessarily have to learn a bunch of complicated editing software, learn editing techniques and terminology, and it actually might be cheaper for some of you to get into live streaming than buying fancy camera gear. I have it's mounted on my tripod, so I can't pull that out. But I have fancy camera gear. I have stuff like the Sony RX100 Mark V, which is a really expensive vlogging camera that makes my life so much easier. But not everybody can afford those things. So what do you do if you can't afford a fancy vlogging camera or a fancy DSLR and expensive photography lenses? There's got to be an answer for you, right? If you're somebody who has maybe less than $150, what can you do? Well, this live stream that I'm doing right now, I'm doing it with a Logitech C922X. That is a $100 webcam, but I could just as easily do it with the Logitech C920, which is a a $60 webcam. And the microphone I'm using right now is an Audio-Technica ATR 2100. That was like, I think, $50 on sale. I'm using a $40 mixer to plug that in to my computer with good audio quality, where I can tweak the levels and the sound quality. So those are things that I'm using, and they're all relatively cheap. So for like $150, you can have perfect 1080 video, you can have really good audio quality overall, and you can control your audio levels with mixer dials. So guess what? $150, you can actually do quality YouTube videos by just doing a live stream. Now, there's other things you might think about. Maybe all you have, for whatever reason, is your smartphone. YouTube now has the YouTube mobile app, and now it's rolled out to pretty much everybody. I know YouTubers with 100 subscribers, they're using it. So it's not just the people with 10,000 or more like when it started. Even if you have 100 subscribers, you can use the YouTube Live mobile app. So you can use the YouTube Live mobile app and you could be doing a live stream from your phone. I've done this. Nick Nimmin has done this. Amy Schmittauer, Brian G. Johnson, Owen Hemsath. We've all used the mobile app to do live streaming whenever we're traveling. So that is definitely an option for you in terms of how can I do quality video without a fancy camera or fancy camera gear? Well, I just told you. You can use less than $150 worth of equipment and have a desk setup for live streaming. Maybe you use a lamp on top of all of that, and or you can use the natural lighting of your window. When I do that, it actually makes the quality worse because I have real lights. So, you can do things like that. And I think that that's just really practical in terms of how can I get started from zero. Now, I mean, if you're a kid and you have $0, then I don't think that this applies to you. I don't think you should be stressing out about making YouTube videos or coming up with a live streaming strategy. Sorry, I would, like there are great kids on YouTube, but like most of you probably should just, be outside. And if you want to do YouTube, it should be a hobby. You shouldn't take it seriously. That being said, if you are taking YouTube seriously, I definitely recommend looking at live streaming as part of your strategy. So let's see what some of you guys are saying here over in the comments. I'm not going to answer questions just yet. We're going to get to that because I want to get through some main quality advice and some basic things you guys need to know before I get to that. So let's just see what is going on over here. Roberto, your channel does solve my one problem. I need more Roberto Blake. Thanks, awesome. Let's see, what else we got. We got a lot of people making sure that nobody's spamming in the comments. Thank you guys for shutting down spammers. I love that. Let's see. My one problem is every time I upload, my subs aren't growing. That's what happens when you start from zero. You should start everything you're doing with zero expectations other than the expectations you set for yourself in terms of working hard and trying. I think one of the most frustrating things for me as a content creator myself is to watch other people obsess and stress over their views and their subscriber count, because it really, guys, it does not matter the way you think it does. I actually did a video about this last week. It does not work the way you think it does. Stop stressing about it. When you start at zero, what really matters is doing work. And stop comparing yourself to other people. I'm going to do a rant this week on my channel literally about stop comparing yourself to other people, because that's your problem. That's your weakness. That's what's going to make you quit, not the result. It's that you're looking for the wrong thing. Stop worrying about what other people have to say. Stop worrying about other people judging you. Stop worrying about being embarrassed because of what other people think, or like you don't have the numbers yet. Give yourself a freaking break and just make stuff because you think it's cool and live with that. I do cool things every day that none of you on the internet will ever see, and it's not a waste of my time because I dig doing that. Look, I'm not streaming like how much of an awesome Mario Kart player I am, and I'm still loving enjoying that and spending time on it, and none of you are going to clap for me. None of you are going to clap for me because I'm never going to stream it, because I'm never starting a gaming channel. Hashtag I might start a gaming channel. No, I'm not going to start a gaming channel, so I'm going to do something I enjoy because I enjoy it. If you're posting videos, guess what? You should be doing something that you like and that you enjoy, whether it's live streaming or whether it's recording videos or whether it's just talking to the camera and venting. So, that's my answer to that one. So, that is, wow, I got a little ranty there. All right. So let's talk about live streaming software real quick, because having the hardware is one thing, software is another. You don't technically need software to do a YouTube live stream, but it does help. If you guys are wondering how I'm getting the chat over here, I'm using a pretty expensive software called Wirecast, because as much as I like learning new things, OBS was a little rough for me to learn everything I wanted to learn because I want to be fancy. If you don't want to be fancy, you can use OBS. It's completely free. XSplit is cheap. And then Wirecast is expensive. So OBS is free, XSplit is cheap, and then Wirecast is expensive. So now you're 1, 2, 3. This one costs 0. This one costs a few bucks. This one is wildly, grossly expensive. Um, and that's what the price I pay for being fancy. Could you get the chat window up with like the OBS stuff for free? Yes. And somebody who's really smart about that, Nick Nimmin. He may have even done a tutorial on it. So that's actually really cool and will help you do transitions. If you wanted to put a fancy intro in front of your live stream, or you wanted to have like some music playing before people get in so that you can ask them to share before you start getting into the stream and you can build up momentum and let the room fill up, then that's actually a cool thing to do. So OBS is a little tricky to learn sometimes. So it depends on how patient you are. My biggest weakness is my lack of patience on certain things. I'm really patient in one area or two areas, and then there's like 10 things where I have no patience, and this was one of them. So I trade money for patience more often than I should. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, you could do this with free stuff. You could do this with free stuff. And if you're a gamer, then YouTube gaming is built in, and you can do that stuff. And usually, the YouTube gaming app is built into most of your gaming consoles today. Now, if you where did I put it? If you're doing gaming, there might be another piece of hardware that you want to get. You might want to get something like the Blackmagic Shuttle Intensity. This is a video capture card, and you see it has all these different things that could be plugged in or out of it, and that's really important. This one is $200, but this is fancy. You can get the Elgato Game Capture for like $150, and that works just fine, and it's a little smaller. I got that because of certain specific things that I'm doing. And again, that's the price of being fancy. So the price of being fancy is that my live streaming hardware and software is like in the $1,000 category. But to be honest, most of you could get by with 150 to 250 bucks and have the ultimate live streaming setup for doing face cam stuff, online gaming, screen sharing. You guys could do all of that really cheap if you don't want to be fancy. I bought that stuff because I'll never have to buy an upgrade and have two of something, and that's part of the reason. Plus, it means that it'll be easier for me because what this stuff does is I won't have to work as hard to train somebody if I put somebody in charge of that for me. With live streaming, I don't believe you need a consistent schedule the way that you would with general YouTube videos. What I like about live is that you can be spontaneous and you can live in the moment. So, in terms of a strategy, I actually don't necessarily believe in you having a strict schedule, but I do think you should schedule your live streams in advance. I think you should schedule your live streams a few hours or even a few days in advance and have a countdown timer so that more people can show up and so you can promote it. And if you happen to have an email list, you can send that out to people on your email list. So, I think that those things really do matter, and I think that it's an important part of your live stream strategy is not necessarily to part of your live stream strategy, in my opinion, is not necessarily to have a set schedule, but to schedule a live stream in advance. So that's the direction that I would go with it. So I hope that answers that particular question. All right, so let's see here. Where did I get the TubeBuddy mug? Oh, our friends at TubeBuddy actually sent this to me. They also sent me a pretty cool shirt, so I've got TubeBuddy swag. So that's where I got the TubeBuddy mug. But I think maybe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I think that you could buy the mugs or the swag on their website, maybe. I don't know, but they sent me this because they're awesome. Which reminds me, if you have not checked out the TubeBuddy browser plugin tool, They are hosting today's live stream Q&A and letting me answer you guys' questions. Go to tubebuddy.com/awesome. That's my link. And you can use discount code Roberto's Buddy, and you can get 20% off of any TubeBuddy plan if you haven't committed to the paid version of TubeBuddy yet. That is my gift to you. Go to tubebuddy.com/awesome and use the code Roberto's Buddy. 20% off, and it's the ultimate browser plugin for YouTube, and it will help you grow your channel. It's my secret weapon. So, code Roberto's Buddy for 20% off. And again, tubebuddy.com/awesome. Yep. So that's definitely something that I want you guys to check out. Now, here's a question that I want to pose to you guys. I'm going to be looking at some of your questions, but I want to pose a question to you guys. What would you like TubeBuddy to incorporate into their tool for people who are doing live streaming? What features would you like TubeBuddy to have that could help you better with your live streaming? Is there certain data that you think TubeBuddy would be able to help you understand better with their tool for the YouTube live streaming? Do you think that is something that you want? Do you want something in TubeBuddy that can help you summarize how much money you've earned with super chat donations? What features would you like TubeBuddy to improve on for live streaming on YouTube, and why? Let me know that. Let me answer some of those things, and let's have a conversation about that, because I think that would be cool to know. I think the TubeBuddy team would be really curious, and who knows, maybe they would use your feature. So, that is really interesting. And it looks like TubeBuddy actually has just added some tools to their live streaming setup for YouTube. So there's some defaults, there's some cool things there. Yeah, I love that. So, TubeBuddy's always thinking ahead. That's why they're my favorite tool. And no, they're not paying me just to say that. So yeah, so that's something that I think we can look at. Now, what I like to do with regard to some of my live streaming and why I do things that are fancy, quote unquote, is I like to make my live streams interesting and different and unique. Part of that is, of course, I put the the chats up here so that people can see that. The other cool thing about me putting the chats up is that when you're doing YouTube live streaming, unlike some live streaming platforms like Periscope or whatever, the recording does not have the chats, or the comment section in YouTube doesn't keep your comments and the things that you guys are saying during the live stream. It doesn't keep those and populate those as comments on the video. So by me putting that up there, it means that someone watching the replay has a reference for the conversation or what I'm talking about, or they could just watch again and read the comments as they're happening, because I put them up on the screen and it's big enough for people to read. So I like doing that, and it also makes it interactive, which means that people are more likely to watch, whether it's the replay or whether it is live, because there's more going on than just me talking on the screen. That actually helps people stick around longer for the live streams. And as you know, YouTube really cares about watch time. So live streaming is a really good way to help yourself in the YouTube algorithm. If you don't want to make and edit long content, doing a live stream can be really helpful for you. And if you do a high quality live stream like this, then maybe you could actually cut up parts of it later and edit that in a video, or you could reference it in another video. So I think that can be a great part of your live stream strategy. The other thing is, when I do live stream Q&As, it gives me a really great opportunity to get questions from you guys as a community, and then I'm able to go and make individual videos that answer those questions. So I don't ever really worry about what content do I need to make or what content do I come up with, because by doing live Q&As, I'm able to get a lot of you to give me questions and let me know what you want and what you're curious about. And so I don't have to think about it. I can just crowdsource the content ideas for my channel. And it's a brilliant strategy if you want to take advantage of that. So let's look at a few of your comments here. Hey, Roberto, please do show us the live sub count behind you. I mean, you can just go to my YouTube channel if you care about the live sub count. I have it there because it's like it's the main thing that I can run on that PC stick. There's a couple other things on that $200 PC stick that I'm getting ready to do a review on and that I've been testing, and so it's just up there so that I have something other than a screensaver up there. That's really the answer. And also, just because as a hack, I've noticed that when that's going on in the background, some of you pay attention or some of you mention it. So it's just an Easter egg. Like, that's the only reason it's back there. Um, what is the best phone or tech gear to do live stream video outdoors? What is the recommended internet speed for live streams? Good question. Get the live stream. For the internet, you want the fastest internet you could possibly have. The other money that I spent into my setup pretty recently was I replaced the crappy router that my internet service provider gave me, and I paid about $150 for a good router. No, good modem. Sorry. And then I got a wireless router that I paid like another $150 for, and the best cables that I could find, and I like just made sure that my signal for my wireless was so clean and perfect that I could do perfect online gaming in Overwatch and perfect live streaming without running a wire or a cable directly to my router and to my modem. Like now I get like 20 something megs up and like 200 300 down or something like that. It's insane. My internet speeds are insane. It is ridiculous how good it is. And I had the same internet plan. I just used hardware and made it better. So that's part of it. Outdoors is rough because it just depends on who your cell phone carrier is. One of the best things you can do if you're streaming outdoors is get a lapel microphone, clip on that microphone right here, a lapel lavalier microphone, and hook that up. Or if you have a really new iPhone, use the AirPods. So, and if you don't have any of those things, then use your earbuds with a mic and put that in there, even if it looks a little silly. The audio quality be good. Nobody likes bad audio. So that's my best advice for live streaming outdoors, and just use the best phone you can. So that is my answer. When you go live, is it only to your subscribers? If it is, anyone, how would we get YouTube to release our live stream link to people? When you live stream on YouTube, it is when you live stream on YouTube, it is actually really simple. It puts it out and promotes it on YouTube as live right now. It also goes to some people in your sub box like a normal YouTube video would. It goes out to everybody who's on Notification Squad, and you have the ability to share the link in social media to anyone and anywhere that you want. So I would definitely recommend doing that. You also can embed live videos on your website. This is part of why I say schedule your live video at least a few hours in advance, because you can promote it and have that countdown timer and people will know when it's going to happen. So that matters. Clash with Ghost asks, Roberto, how much time does it take for you to get to 100 subs? Please tell us. It'll take 1,000 years. How about that? No, for some of you, probably. I don't know. It takes as long as it takes. There's no answer. Everybody wants to know how long does it take to 100 subs. Some people will do it in one day. How long does it take to get 1,000 subs? Some people will be on YouTube for 10 years and won't make it to 1,000 subs. Some people will do 100,000 in 3 months. That's them. Your race is your race. Stay in your own lane. There's less traffic there. Stop worrying about other people. Stop comparing. Stop setting an arbitrary time or date to a goal. Just work. And whatever results you get as a result of your hard work, that's what you got. You want better or different results? Do something different. Work harder. Whatever it is. That's the answer. That is the real answer. It's not the fluffy, fake positivity answer that so many people want in YouTube. And what I love about live is that you can see that I'm being real. Because if I can fake something for an hour, give me my bloody Oscar. If I can maintain that and can do acting and improv for an hour by being fake and spreading fake positivity, I want an Oscar. I want it. I demand it. I deserve it. But I'm not. So, since this is real talk, I get no awards and no applause and no clapping for real talk. So that's just the way it is. But no, in a serious note, um, it just takes as long as it takes. I have friends who did 100 videos that have almost 1 million subscribers now. Like my friends over at Charisma on Command. So many of my friends who have done stuff like that. My friend Sarah Dici, she's done like 150, 250 videos, something like that, and has almost 200,000 subscribers. I had to do like 1,000 videos to get that far. My friend Sunny Leonard Doozy, it's like everybody's race and journey is different. Everybody's race and journey is completely different. And it doesn't matter. So stop comparing yourself and stop thinking that there's an expectation that you should have. You should go into everything with zero expectations, except the expectation you set on yourself of being committed to doing whatever it takes. So if it's going to take you, what if I told you it's going to take you 5,000 videos for you to get to 100,000 subscribers? It'd probably be a good idea to start tomorrow, or to start being consistent tomorrow, or to start doing daily tomorrow, right? But there's so many of you, if I told you that's what it's going to take, you're saying, no, that's too hard. Then if you're saying it's too hard, you don't want it. You don't really want it if you're saying it's too hard. So that's my real answer. If I told you, hey, it's going to take you 500 videos to get to 10,000. It's going to take you 600 videos to get to 100,000. You're going to tell me, well, I did 30, I did 50, and I'm not seeing it, so I'm going to stop. You didn't want it enough. That's just the truth. There are no shortcuts, and every single person that has anything that you want started at zero. They started with 0 people following them. They started with 0 subscribers and 0 views. If you are a small YouTuber, I'm going to break the very harsh reality to you that that's not special. Everybody is a small YouTuber when they start. It's not special. What is special is how you feel about your audience, how you feel about the 5 people that are subscribed to you that show up every single day, and how you treat them. That's special. That's what quality is. Everything else, it's just a byproduct of how you put effort and work into your content, how you treat your community. That number's a byproduct of that. It's not an indicator of your quality of content. It's not an indicator of your value as a human being. It's not an indicator of anything but the result that you produced as a result of your process. Whatever your process is, and your process won't be my process. The way you treat people will not be the way that I treat people. The way that you relate to your audience and the way that you care about them probably won't be the same way that I do. So you should stop judging yourself based on other people. And that's the other interesting thing about live streaming, though, is people get to see who you actually are unless you're really good at acting. So that's my answer. That is my answer. And again, it's like I went on that tangent instead of talking about a lot of the live streaming stuff I want to, because again, you guys bring that out in me sometimes. So that's what it comes down to. The other cool thing about live videos, though, is because live videos are part of the relationship with your audience. I do live videos to be able to find out what people in my community want from me, also what they're struggling with, or sometimes I do live videos in response to the way they're engaging with me in other social media platforms so that I could address their issues, because it lets me do it, and maybe I don't have the time to shoot and produce and edit or research something. I can just talk to them, and it will be value, and it will be quality content, and it's something that people will watch over if they want to pull nuggets out of it. So that's something that I think matters, is that when you do a live video, it's not you just broadcasting and speaking to thin air. It's actually you talking to your community or to people who are curious around the thing that you're curious about or that you want to talk about. So, that matters. Carl Street made a little joke. Roberto had a head start. He has friends. The reality is, the sad truth is, I didn't. I know that's a joke, Carl, but here's the sad truth. I didn't. And that's because, part of me being, it's not the same for everybody. Part of the way that I was an introvert, and I'm still an introvert, but the part of the way that I was an introvert was that not only sometimes was I shy, but sometimes I also didn't have patience with people, and sometimes I was straight up antisocial, and sometimes I just would get frustrated or I was scared of rejection. And so I only had a handful of what I'd call good friends. And I didn't have a lot of friends in the online community. And even when I did, I was keeping people at arm's length and I wasn't showing my personality. Even when I first started my YouTube channel, I was not showing any of my personality. And it was hard. It was hard for me to get out of my own head. And the only way it happened was I kept doing it over and over and over, and somewhere around 120 videos in, 150 videos in, I got comfortable. And I felt like I had permission to be myself. But if I had stopped or worried about it at 20 videos or 30 videos, it wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have come out of my shell and felt okay to share my personality, and to just be human. So, I think that it matters. Um, but yeah, that's where um, that's where we go. Now that made me lose my train of thought on something I was gonna say strategy wise about that. Oh yeah, live streaming. One of the other good things about live streaming is if your problem is your on camera presence, and your issue is that you're not comfortable on camera yet, live streaming is a shortcut to fast track that because you think on your feet, you respond, you deal with the chaos, and the thing is, you don't have to watch the replay in the editing in Adobe Premiere or Final Cut and judge yourself and then decide you're not going to post it. It's just there and it's living in the wild. And so, as a strategy, live streaming could actually get you comfortable on camera faster. I'm someone who hated public speaking and I hated getting in front of the class in school, and I ended up becoming a public speaker because live streaming helped me get over the anxiety, by being on camera and responding to people in real time on camera. It set me up really good for public speaking. So that's something else that you could look at when it's live. It's done. You don't have to review it. You don't have to second guess it. You don't have to overthink it. You can just go ahead and put it out there, and it's in the wild. It's done. You don't have to agonize over the editing or your mess ups or your mistakes or your flaws. When I was getting started, the editing process was something where most of my content would die. The editing bay, the editing program was where my content went to die because I'd film it and I'd feel okay about it. Then I'd get to editing it and I don't like that. So it goes in the scrap heap and all that time and all that effort goes out the window. But with live, that actually is important and it can actually just be done, and you don't have that second look at it before saying, oh, you know what, that goes on the scrap heap. And because you have real feedback in real time, you're getting response, you're possibly getting positive reinforcement, and it's someone being able to help you as far as your audience guide the content. So it's not even just you, it's a collaborative thing. And the great thing about collaborations is it brings out a different energy. It brings out a very different energy than if you just film something by yourself. And even talking to you guys in real time, when I go on tangents and rants, I feel that they are better tangents and rants and they're more compassionate because even though I can't see you guys, I know you're there. And so I'm thinking about my tone. Whereas if I'm just by myself, maybe the tone ends up being harsher because you're not there and it's just harder to have the empathy and the compassion come out in my voice when I say something that might seem a little bit harsh. So that is something that you have to think about is the energy changes when you're doing something that other people are involved in, whether it's a live video or a collaboration or a video that you're recording where other people are in the room. It makes a real difference in how your energy and your performance comes across on camera. So, as a strategy, that could actually be a good thing for you to implement because it will help you possibly just think more like a fan and think about the people in your audience when you're making your content. And I think that that produces better content. But that's my experience and that's my thought on it. Let's see. Somebody brought out something about viral videos, and then Andrew was talking about this, and he makes an excellent point. They'd rather be relevant than viral. And I couldn't agree more. I've actually talked to a couple of people. A lot of people have asked me advice and DM'd me that had a viral video, and literally it was like, oh, I went viral. I wanted to go viral. I didn't expect that it would actually happen. And now I don't know what to do and to capitalize on this. And now everything is going downhill because I thought everything would be fine after I went viral. It doesn't work that way. Some of you should probably pray that you never go viral because I guarantee you that if you went viral tomorrow, it'd be a problem. It'd be a bigger problem than it is something you're grateful for because you don't have a plan or a strategy for what comes next. You don't have a strategy to manage your virality. You don't even have a strategy to cash in on your virality. Some of you have not even qualified for the monetization in YouTube yet to really make any money off of a viral video. And then some of you, the type of viral video that you make probably wouldn't be monetizable under YouTube's new guidelines. So I think that that is part of the issue. And I think you need to be concerned a little bit about that. Monetization is another aspect of live videos. Live videos do get regular YouTube ads, and you could actually play an ad during a live video, so you could get a few extra ad dollars out of that if you've enabled the monetization on your live videos. The other thing you can do is Super Chat. Donations can be given to you by your audience as you live stream during Super Chat. The split on revenue from Super Chat is 70-30. Creators get 70% of the money, YouTube gets 30, which means that if you were to donate like $10 when I'm doing a super chat on my channel, I would get $7 out of the 10. So that's actually a really good way to make money on YouTube live streams is by doing super chat, and to enable that you need at least 1,000 subscribers. So that's just something to consider and to think about. So that is, just another angle to how YouTube monetization works in the context of live video. Now, one of the other things you guys have to think about is that your channel is your channel. This advice is for anyone and everybody, but your channel is your channel, and you have to figure out what's going to work on your own. These things are things I think almost anyone could apply. Monetizing your videos, if you have the subscriber count to do that, being able to schedule your videos in advance and promote them, that's something all of you can do. But there's going to be different people who can do different live streaming tactics for their type of community. Some of you are gamers, but not all of you are gamers. Some of you are comedy channels. Some of you are information or advice channels. Everybody's channel and everybody's niche is going to be different, and then the tactics that you use for your audience is going to be specific either to the niche or the genre that you're in, or possibly that you built a community that's just different and weird and operates differently and is a micro niche of the bigger thing. Because guess what? Minecraft gamers are not the same as Undertale gamers. They're just not. They're not necessarily the same as people who play in Street Fighter tournaments. It's a completely different tactical thing. And those people are not the same as people who review tech and camera gear. It's a completely different thing. And that's the difference between the tactics versus a strategy. The strategy can be applied in a more general, broad way. Do these things. Follow these guidelines. Research these things. Use these tools. Buy this hardware. Buy this equipment. But the tactical stuff is super narrow. It's super narrow and it's specific to your niche, your genre, and your community specifically. So I think that's something that we can't take for granted, and that's why you have to come up with your own ideas on how you apply this and make it successful for you. Derpy asks, what would be the best way to stream for free on Windows 10 for a game? Windows 10, because of Xbox, actually has live streaming software incorporated in that. So just do a quick Google search and I'm sure you'll be able to find it, because Windows 10 has that built in already. And also, it depends on your game. Some of the games already have that built in already. So just take a look at that. So let's see. Let's look at a few of your questions here. Roberto, how can I change thumbnails while live streaming with Google Hangouts? That's why you have to use the YouTube live version of it if you want to do that. It's a great question. And YouTube's live panel can let you change out thumbnails. And that's also one of the reasons I like using things like Wirecast and OBS and XSplit, is because I have control on that side, but I also get to use the YouTube Live dashboard, and that's a lot better than the Google Hangouts dashboard. So the way you'll want to do it is use YouTube Live. Now, here's the thing. If you're trying to do interviews, YouTube Live isn't really set up for that the way that Google Hangouts on Air is, so you'll need to use another piece of software that can help you. I prefer to use Zoom.us, Zoom.us, and combine that with either OBS or Wirecast, and that's how you can do interviews, and that's part of being fancy. So if you want to do interviews, that's how you would go about it. So, great question, but that's how I would do it instead of using Google Hangouts on Air, and that's how I'm actually doing it. Inner Geek Designs, good to see you. How do you grow a live audience with a small subscriber amount? I'm going to try not to go down the rabbit hole on a rant here and explain that subscriber count aside from YouTube subscriber count giving you access to the YouTube Creator Studio, aside from subscriber count giving you play button awards, aside from subscriber count giving you access to certain features in YouTube at 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, then guess what? Because 10,000 subscribers is where all the features under the hood of YouTube are unlocked. Subscriber count aside from those things is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you had 10 subscribers, but you live stream 5 minutes before the season premiere of Game of Thrones ends, the last 5 minutes of Game of Thrones, you start live streaming and talking about Game of Thrones, you will get a crap ton of views. You will get, on that premiere episode, you might get like 10,000 views, even if you have 5 subscribers. Subscriber count doesn't matter. Period. End of story, except for the 3 caveats I gave of when it does matter. So, you will get views, whether you're live or recorded, based on how relevant your thing that you're doing is, how well you tag it using TubeBuddy, how well you optimize it using TubeBuddy, how well you promote it in social media, how people respond to it, and how they share it in the first 1 hour, the first 24 hours, all of those things, and how good your thumbnail is at getting people to click, have everything to do with your videos. Because here's the thing, 95% of my subscribers, like 95% of my subscribers, don't get a notification and the video does not show up in their sub box. So subscriber count doesn't matter. Of the almost 250,000 people subscribed to me, they've told me, people have emailed me, people have DM'd me. The videos, when I produce them every day, do not show up in their sub box, and if they don't click the bell, they don't get a notification, which means that your subscriber count has very little to do with how successful your video is on YouTube. I want to make that very clear. So it doesn't matter what your subscriber count is. It doesn't matter if you have a small audience. It's not special. Now, having more subscribers means that you might have 1,000 super fans that check your channel and refresh it every day to see if you did something new and might share it in their Facebook or their Twitter. So that's what having fans does for you, is you get those early views, and then YouTube might promote it a little more because you're getting early views. That's literally the only advantage. The only advantage is that it helps you that little bit. That's it. Now, before 2013, I could have said something differently. Before 2013 and 2015, when there were major algorithm changes, I could have said something differently. And that's responsible for most of the big YouTubers that you know today. That's what's responsible for them, but it's also why so many of them were upset when the algorithm changed. That's why so many people are upset from the changes in the algorithm, because I know people with literally 3 times as many subscribers as me that are friends of mine, that their views have gone to here and are closer to the amount of views I get, but they have 3 times my sub count, and they've been on YouTube much longer than me and are much more popular. Like, if I said who I'm talking about, you would know the people that I'm talking about, but they're not getting the views that they used to get, and they're not growing the subscribers the way they used to, and so that subscriber count is not helping them. If anything, that subscriber count, since the algorithm changes, is hurting them. So if you think that you don't have a shot because you're a small YouTuber, you actually probably have a much better shot as a small YouTuber that started after 2013 or after 2015 or started in 2017. In the long run, your 5 years on YouTube, you will probably be better and smarter and have better relationships with your audience than YouTubers who started before the algorithm changed. Because you will have, it's weirdly because you will work a little bit harder to get yours, you will actually be able to maintain it better and longer. So the algorithm changes are really part of that. And also, if you didn't know, yes, YouTube values views over watch time, and there are technically 2 algorithms. There is a recorded video algorithm, and there's a live video algorithm. And after your video is no longer live, it then becomes part of the regular recorded video algorithm once it's up on your channel as a published recorded video, and the watch time on that actually elevates your channel watch time as a whole, which means that all content on your video is somewhat elevated in the eyes of YouTube for watch time channel authority. So live streaming is a fantastic hack, especially early on in your career, to stack watch time for your channel, and then when you're putting out other videos, it has a little bit more weight behind it because your channel has watch time, because it has these longer videos that have watch time. So that is something that you really should think about in terms of if you've been hesitating to do live video. I've seen a lot of people starting to realize that live video can help their channel, and then as a revenue stream because of Super Chat, it's been helping people a lot. I know people that, not even with a bunch of people watching, like literally, there'll be 100 people watching on their stream, but they'll make like $200 on that stream with just 100 people watching. You realize how many video views you'd have to get on a recorded video to clear $200 in YouTube? Some of you have been making videos for months or weeks and haven't cleared $100 to $200 yet, but a few people in Super Chat, once you have 1,000 subscribers, if you have 1,000 subscribers and you're averaging 200 views a video, guess what? That live stream, you'll probably make more money on that live stream than any other video you made. Sunny and Lola ask, Roberto, is it important to schedule your live streams, or will it be just as effective to live stream when it fits your own schedule as far as the algorithm goes? It's all dependent on watch time and promotion, so it's down to whether you can do it like that, or whether or not you have the time, or whether um, you have the time to schedule it in advance. It can go either way. I've done both, and it's worked out more or less the same. It's a good question. It just comes down to what you have time to do and what you have time to promote. Let's see. Will publishing a live video stream at the same time as a new regular upload hurt the regular upload pushed, less, or throttled? Yes and no. Um, it could help it if you're able to get people who watch the live video to then immediately jump over and watch the recorded video you did that day. Um, but I would spread them apart by maybe at least an hour or two. Every video you produce has a 24-hour to 48-hour timer on it, where that really matters what traffic and watch time it gets. So every video stands on its own, but the performance of those videos over that time is also weighed in new videos you upload as well. The hack that I kind of would like to do, and why I need an editor, is I've figured out that if I start producing 2 videos a day and I spread them out by at least a few hours each, maybe 8 to 10 hours each, that I can get around the 24-hour decay rate and promotion rate of the algorithm and how the performance affects the previous versus the next video. If I'm releasing 2 videos a day, I figured out that I could get around that until they change it. But it's intense and to produce that kind of amount of video. That's where having a staff that I'm going to do for my company anyway, for us to make stuff for other people and for companies and brands, I can use the same staff for my own content too. And so that's why next year I'll be hiring people, and then I can get out 2 videos a day and get around that. And that will probably be the countdown when I go to 2 videos a day. That will be the countdown to my subscriber count tripling. Literally tripling. That's the difference of when I think I will get like 1,000 plus new subscribers to 2,000 new subscribers a day if I was doing that level of content, and if I was playing that part of the algorithm game, plus doing weekly live streams as a strategy on top of that. But that's not something I think everyone could do. And you'd still have to make quality content, and you'd still have to promote it and market it and interact with it. So I don't think it's weird that I don't think I have an answer for your question beyond try it and see what happens and tweak it accordingly. So, that's my answer. The Legend Wizpot says, "Hey, I really want to know how to get more subscribers. Please help and tell me. Make high quality content videos. Do that 2 to 3 times a week, and use the TubeBuddy plugin, tubebuddy.com/awesome. Use my code Roberto's Buddy for 20% off, and you will get more subscribers if your content is actually good and worth subscribing to." That's my answer. I think that might be my default answer for the rest of the year whenever I'm asked that question. Until I release a course, and then my answer will be watch my free videos or buy my course. Let's see. How many live streams per week should a channel do, Sunny and Lola? I would say that if you're doing, unless you have a specific thing that merits live streaming, once a week is something I do, but I have a community. If you are doing it because you want to get more than one video out a week, then once a week is fine. But I wouldn't do it that much more than that unless you're doing something specific or you're streaming gaming or something like that, because I don't think it's sustainable for most of you to interrupt your life to do live streaming versus recording videos in advance. So I think maybe once a week is fine, unless you have a specific reason. Joanna, thank you so much for the €2 super chat. The TubeBuddy team is going to love that. Love your work, Roberto. Thank you so much, Joanna. So, yeah. Hope that answers your question, Sonny. Joshua says, is Google Hangouts for live streams a good idea or not? YouTube Live is better, and if you can use it with something like OBS, that's better, or even using Zoom.us. Those appliances are better than Google Hangouts. It's why YouTube discontinued and Google discontinued Google Hangouts. You can still technically use it, but it's not as good as the tools that they've provided us now and the other options that we have. So I recommend that. Tamid says, so how do I get videos noticed? It starts with your friends watching, but they may not share it, so how will other people see it mainly? Optimize it for search and discovery and related videos using TubeBuddy as a browser plugin tool because it will help you with that. TubeBuddy.com/awesome and use code Roberto'sBuddy to get 20% off. And aside from that, you have to have really good thumbnails. People don't care about your subscriber count. Do you know why I know that? Nobody sees your subscriber count when they click on a video. I watch and have watched tech YouTubers that have 200 subscribers. And you know how I found their video? I saw the camera lens that I wanted to buy in the thumbnail, and it was a better thumbnail than the other thumbnails that were in my search feed or in my Twitter, and I clicked the video. And that's how they got my view, is they got a thumbnail that I wanted to click on, and they got me to click on it. I didn't see their subscriber count. Now, how did they show up in my feed? Well, maybe they optimized their stuff with TubeBuddy, or maybe they shared it in social media and used the right hashtag. That's how you do it. There is no getting noticed in YouTube. There is no getting noticed in YouTube. There's no getting noticed in YouTube. And even if there was, it's irrelevant. What if I got noticed by wearing a zany t-shirt with a poop emoji on it? That might get me noticed, but it doesn't mean that somebody is going to talk to me that's really smart about whatever, and with that poop emoji, it's going to be really hard for me to walk up to them and ask them to give me money. So getting noticed and getting attention, what if I wanted to get noticed and I walked around with the my Samsung VR like in the world all the time? I might get noticed, but no one will walk up and probably talk to me unless it's a police officer to ask me what I'm doing. Like, that people are going to be like, oh, he's in his own little world. I don't care about that, and VR is scary to me. I'm going to run the other way. Or what is he doing? Is that binoculars? Is he spying on me? It's more likely to cause problems to do things for getting attention than to worry about context. What does the other person want? And how can I get positive attention from them by giving them something that they want? I want to know about this lens before I spend money on it. So a thumbnail that shows me that you can tell me about this lens, I probably click on that. You've now got my attention by creating value for me and giving me context. If you just had this lens and it's not doing anything interesting, or it's a really bad photo of this lens, or you're saying, oh, all about camera lenses, and the thumbnail is you in a coffee mug instead of showing me the camera lens, why would I click on that? I wouldn't. So there's no getting noticed. There's no getting noticed. Delete getting noticed on YouTube from your vocabulary. You use TubeBuddy. You optimize tags based on what someone types into a search, because I'm looking for Panasonic lenses, Panasonic G7 lenses, Panasonic GH5 lenses. I'm looking for that. So, you know what you don't put in your tags? You don't put Panasonic. You don't put best lens ever in your tags. You don't do that. I need to know about the Panasonic Lumix GH5. I need to know about Super Mario Run. I need to know about Zelda Breath in the Wild. I need to look up, Zelda Breath in the Wild, how to get off the Great Plateau. Zelda Breath of the Wild, how to find the Master Sword. So that's a title for a video, because it solves what? A specific thing that I want. That's a tag for a video. That's something that'd be good to have in the description of a video. That's how you create context, whether it's a live video, whether it's a recorded video. The titles, the descriptions, and the tags are how you create context so that when I search for something, since YouTube is, we search for things, I will find it. Or if I watched a bunch of videos like that, YouTube can recommend it to me in my homepage or when I'm watching another video on the sidebar. And then if the thumbnail is really good and tells a story that makes sense, I can click on that thumbnail, and that's how you will get my attention. And then if your video doesn't suck, I will add watch time to your video and to your channel by watching it. And if it's part of a playlist or a series, maybe I will watch more videos and more videos and more videos, which is why TubeBuddy, when you get it, has the upload checklist that I did one, Daryl Eves did one, a bunch of other YouTube experts did one, that tells you here are all the things you need to do when you upload a YouTube video. Make good titles, make a good thumbnail, make descriptions, make tags, and do your research and put them in a playlist. That's why we do these live streams. That's why I've done 180 videos about how to grow a YouTube channel. That's why Daryl Eves has done videos. That's why Nick Nimmin and Brian G. Johnson and Sonny Leonarduzzi and Amy Schmittauer and Owen Hemsath and all the other people who have come onto TubeBuddy to help you guys have said the same things over and over and over, because it matters. And there's no shortcut, and there's no getting noticed. There's no getting noticed in YouTube. It's a robot that needs you to give it instructions on how it can help you, and then you're asking human beings what they're curious about and getting them to click on something that they're curious about, whether it's what camera lens to buy, what 360 gear to buy for virtual reality, or what video game they want to play. That is what you're trying to give us, what we want. And a good thumbnail is probably one of the most important things about that, because we click to view something. But to get in our face in the first place, you need to be able to do good titles, descriptions, and tags so the robots of YouTube know how to get me something I want. Just like the robots of Amazon know that I bought this lens, it knows 5 other things I might buy. YouTube is no different, but the problem is that people who sell camera lenses, they're really smart about saying, how do we make sure that if you bought this lens, you know that there are 5 other camera accessories, 50 other camera accessories that we sell? They spend hours agonizing over that, writing descriptions, getting people to write reviews. And what YouTubers don't do is they don't want to write titles, they don't want to write descriptions, they don't want to write tags, and they don't encourage enough people to comment to make it easy for the robot to say, great, I have all this information about this video, and I have all this information about a human viewer, and these things match. Gee, that human would like this video because all this information matches what this viewer actually does and cares about, and I'm going to put them together. It's a match made in heaven. That's all there is to it. That's how it works. So if you've ever wondered how YouTube works, whether it's live, whether it's recorded, that's how YouTube works, and that's why TubeBuddy is one of the best tools for YouTube, is because maybe you're not a search engine genius. You don't have to be a search engine genius if you have a tool that does all of that research and all of those things for you and can help you figure it out. So that's why I dig TubeBuddy. That's why it's my favorite tool. That's why I think it really is important to get your titles, your descriptions, your tags, and your playlist right, and then have a really good spot-on thumbnail, because that is the only way to truly be successful in YouTube over the long term, and to obviously make quality content that people will watch and will watch over and over, or share with their friends, or come back for more. That's it. Sunny and Lola says, Roberto, how does someone with no tags and a bad title get a lot of views, though? I've seen videos with thousands of views and hardly any SEO. There are anomalies and there are luck. There are anomalies and there are luck. How is it that people that are the stupidest sack of potatoes in the world make $1 million? versus all the other people who had to work hard. Instead of worrying about those one or two outliers who do that, guess what you do? You focus on something that is an actual process that doesn't require work. Doesn't require luck, and instead requires work. Instead of trying to be one of the lucky ones, I'd rather just outwork people because I can control that. Because when luck changes, because a bunch of the people who you might be talking about probably are the same people who might have been crying when the YouTube algorithm changed, and when the YouTube algorithm changes again this year and pivots even harder on machine learning and artificial intelligence, a lot of those people, the only reason they will continue to get those views is because they have hardcore fans from back in the day that stick with them. That's usually your answer. Usually your answer is one of two things. Either someone got a viral video, or someone picked the right thing at the right time, or they already had subscribers who had their back. And so if you already have subscribers, you can do all the things, especially if you had subscribers before 2013 and before 2015 with the big algorithm changes. If you had those subscribers before, it may not matter what you do or don't do, and you'll still get a lot more views than some people. However, you can't ride that forever as YouTube continues to change and tweak the algorithm, and as the machine learning and the artificial intelligence changes things, it won't continue to work for you. And so you can't rely on being one of the lucky ones, and you have to stop looking at the lucky few who have 1 million plus subscribers and are doing clickbait or doing this and doing that, and you really need to look at what you can do. Because not everybody is going to be lucky, and not everybody is going to be gorgeous, and not everyone is going to be a genius. But what all of you can do is work smarter and work harder. What all of you can do is find tools that make your life better and make things simpler and streamline a process. What all of you can do is try to work to be better than you were yesterday, and you do that by ignoring what other people are doing and ignoring people who get lucky. And that's it. You know, I've worked hard my whole life. There are people who have not worked hard all their life, and guess what? They literally won the lottery, and that's how they have the life that they have, and that's it. Or they got an inheritance, and that's how they got the life they had. I can't control those things, so I work hard, and so can you. There are some people that are gifted, talented athletes, and I've seen people work hard and wipe the floor with them because of effort and hustle and being smarter than them. So I'd always rather work hard and be smart than be lucky, because luck runs out. As long as you've got gas in your tank, hard work matters. So that's my answer. That is my answer. Everything Tesla says, we can work smarter, but sometimes it's tough to work harder because a lot of us have full-time jobs and girlfriends and wives and kids. Working harder isn't working longer, everything Tesla, but it's not always working smarter either. It's about efficiency, and yes, you can work harder if you increase your stamina. If you increase your stamina, you can work harder. So I don't agree with that thesis, and I've given you my reason why. Reason why. I've seen people who've had a full-time job and had kids do a YouTube channel. Tim Schmoyer has 6 kids. Or is it 7 now? Tim Schmoyer has 6 or 7 kids. Tim Schmoyer, has had kids, showing up from the day he got married, pretty much. And has been running multiple successful YouTube channels and being a consultant. And he had a full-time job before that too. And now he runs a full-time business and multiple side hustles. So, stamina lets you go harder and longer. Stamina is both. But if you change your stamina, you have a foundation for, I can work for a longer period of time and at a higher productivity level. And if you get really efficient, then it's even better. It's even better if you get efficient, and getting smart helps you be more efficient. And you can be smart, and then that can help you learn how to increase your stamina, and your productivity. And on top of that, you know, harder, quote unquote, is in many ways it's a matter of like what you make it. I like to everything Tesla. I'm gonna stop this conversation because it's about semantics at this point, and so I think that the time you've taken to go down this rabbit hole of semantics, a primary example of okay, what would be working harder? Working harder would be, instead of asking me what working harder means, is actually just working harder. That's my answer. So yeah. Chaco Q says, I have no idea how to become successful. Find someone who's successful, break down their process, reverse engineer everything that they did, analyze it, study it, make a list, look at everything they're doing, look at everything you're not, and then say, gee, I see everything they're doing. I'm doing none of those things. I will do those things, and possibly I have the same type of success they have. Simple. Done. It's not easy, but it is simple. It is straightforward. So that's it. Yep, nothing overnight. Everyone starts at 0. Everyone starts at 0. Everybody. Wow. We always seem to end these on that kind of note. But we have a really good question here. Beanie Draw says, Roberto, if my webcam goes out of focus while I'm in manual focus mode, would that be a software error or a hardware error? It could be either or both. I would definitely look at contacting your hardware provider and see if that's within warranty. I would test and see if that's happening on another machine that you have access to, and that's why I would try and figure out for that. I've had no issues with that since going to the Logitech C922X. That's why I recommend that. I have seen that happen on laptops, though, with the built-in webcams and on iMacs, and I don't like that. And that's why I always use a dedicated external webcam whenever possible. And so I'd highly recommend that. So, guys, that's it for this YouTube live stream brought to you by our friends over at TubeBuddy. If you don't have the TubeBuddy software, then go to tubebuddy.com/awesome. That is a Chrome and Firefox browser plugin. It is amazing. It is my secret weapon for using my YouTube channel, making it as good as it can be, and optimizing my tags. And so, I definitely want to encourage you guys to do that. Also, if you're going to VidCon, me and TubeBuddy are doing a meetup for me at VidCon. More details will be coming about that, but TubeBuddy has been gracious enough to host a meetup for me at VidCon so that I can hang with you guys, maybe do some Q&A and answer some questions, and also just talk about YouTube stuff. So I'll be at VidCon, thanks to our friends over at TubeBuddy, and we'll be bringing you guys more awesome. So I hope to see you guys at VidCon, which is going to be June 20th through, I think, the 24th, and I think I'm sticking around for Disney Day, the 25th, so I hope to see you guys there and be able to talk to you guys about cool stuff going on in the YouTube community, things that I have planned and that I'm up to, and that's all thanks to our friends over at TubeBuddy. So thanks, Andrew. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, everybody on the TubeBuddy team, for being awesome in what you guys do. If you haven't signed up for TubeBuddy yet, tubebuddy.com/awesome. Use the code Roberto's Buddy and get 20% off. So that is something that I really am looking forward to. VidCon is amazing. This is my second year going, and I'm so happy to be working with TubeBuddy while I'm there. I'm going to be hanging out with my friends from BH Photo Video. I'm going to be hanging out with the Adobe crew. I'm going to be hanging out with our friends over at FameBit and our friends at Social Blue Book. So it's just going to be a great time being around creators and being around the people who help us as creators and what we do be possible. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for the wonderful questions. Thank you for enduring some of the rants and the tangents. And thank you guys for just helping me be more awesome. You guys really bring out the best in me with our interactions, whether it's great questions or whether it's triggering my rants. So, yep, that's pretty cool. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time. And hopefully I see some of you guys at VidCon. In the meantime, go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.